morning and a very warm welcome. You are watching JanataTelevision and this is the English Bulletin with me, Anustha Acharya. The top stories first. Over 141,000 candidates is filed for local election. Final list of candidates will be published on April 29. NC condemns remarks made by UML chairman. The ruling party accuses oil of violating. IMF projects Nepal's economy to grow by 4.1% this year. Global growth is projected to slow down to 3.6%. At least 4 people killed in suicide attack in Pakistan. Chinese nationals among those killed in the blast. And Manchester City beat Real Madrid in first leg tie. Karim Benzema's leg penalty gives Real hope for the second leg. And now the news in detail. Altogether, 141,468 candidacies were filed for various posts of the upcoming local election scheduled for May 13. The figure was made available by the Election Commission yesterday. A report. The latest update of the Election Commission shows that 22,194 candidacies were filed in Province 1, 36,275 in Madhya Province, 23,654 in Bagmati Province, 12,314 in Gandaki Province, 22,421 in Lumbini Province, 12,848 in Karnali Province and 11,762 in Sudur Paschim Province. Among them, 3,318 candidacies are for the post of mayors of municipalities, sub-metropolis and metropolises, and 2,036 are for the post of deputy mayors, while 3,306 are for chairs of rural municipalities and 2,343 are for vice chairs. According to the Election Commission, 33,111 nominations are for the ward chair. A total of 24,283 candidacies have been registered for women quota, 21,979 for Dalit women quota and 51,092 candidacies are for the ward members. The election is taking place at 753 local levels on May 13 for 35,221 posts, including mayor, deputy mayor, chairman and vice chairman, 6,743 wards chairperson, same number of women members and Dalit women members, and 13,483 members. Candidacies were filed in an enthusiastic manner at the office of the election officers established at the local levels across the nation on Sunday and Monday. Complaints against the candidates were filed yesterday. The nomination paper would be verified and decision would be taken against the complaint after carrying out investigation on April 27 and 28. Similarly, there is a schedule to publish the name list of candidates on May 28. Likewise, candidates can withdraw their candidacies and the final list of candidates would be published on April 29. Nepali Congress spokesperson Dr. Prakash Charan Mahat has accused CPN-UML chairman KP Sharma Oli of violating the election code of conduct over his recent remarks aimed at the Nepali Congress. Mahat said that Oli's recent remarks were objectionable. Speaking at video launch for the election at the party's central office on Tuesday, he said the election code of conduct has been already enforced in the country, but UML chair Oli has criticized the NC and its manifesto at the meanest possible level. The expressions are condemnable, Dr. Mahat said. He accused the CPN-UML of making a mockery of the election code of conduct and lambasted the authorities concerned for not being able to respond to the blatant violation of the code. It may be noted that UML chair Oli at a program in the capital on Tuesday had criticized the NC's manifesto. The hearing in the case filed by Nepal Rashtra Bank Governor Mahaprasad Adhikari against the government's decision could not be completed on Tuesday at the Supreme Court. As a result, the hearing on the petition has been postponed for coming Tuesday. Though the division bench of SC Justices Sapana Pradhan Malla and Tonka Bahadur Muktan started hearing on the case, it was postponed for Tuesday due to the time constraint. It may be noted that Governor Adhikari had filed a case at the SC on April 17 demanding the court to scrap the decision made by the government, suspend him by forming a probe committee to investigate against him. However, he returned back to regular duties after the apex court recently stayed the decision of the government with the interim order. This is Janata Bulletin. We'll be right back after a short break. Welcome back after the break. We continue with other national news. The government yesterday confirmed 8 new cases of COVID-19 across the country. According to the Ministry of Health and Population, the number of active cases of COVID-19 has dropped to 400 after 456 people recovered from the disease. So far, a total of 978,770 people have tested positive for the virus in Nepal, while 966,558 people have already recovered. No new death from the virus was reported yesterday. The death toll from the virus remains constant at 11,951. Nepal is currently among top 62 countries affected by coronavirus. USA tops the list with 82.78 million cases, followed by India with 43.06 confirmed cases. The virus has infected more than 510.70 million people worldwide and has claimed over 6.24 million lives. Chief Whip of ruling CPN Maoist Centre Dev Gurung has said that initiatives are being taken everywhere to remove the independent candidacy filed by the ruling party's leaders for the local election, stating that some candidacies have been filed against the consensus of the ruling parties. Chief Whip Gurung said that all possible efforts are being made to remove such candidacies. He said that the party is alert about regressive forces posing stiff challenge in places where the ruling parties have not forged the electoral alliance. Speaking at a program organized in Kathmandu on Tuesday, Chief Whip Gurung said that the UML resorted the regressive move due to which we were forced to form an alliance with the Nepali Congress to maintain the status quo.
सहमति भएर त्यो अनुसार नै कार्यान्वयन गर्ने मनोनयन गर्ने प्रक्रिया अगाडि बढेको छ। भलै कतिपय ठाउँहरूमा असहमति हुने दाबी विरोध हुने भए तापनि चाहिँ मोरली त्यो स्तरमा पनि गइरहेको छ। अब वडा स्तरको सहकार्य गर्ने प्रक्रियाहरू चाहिँ अब समयको चाप सबै कुराले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ सबै वडामा सहकार्य गरेर चाहिँ के रे मतलब कम्प्लिट भइसकेको छैन चाहिँ।
Chief Whip Gurung also accused the KP Oli-led government of not investing in the productive sector during 3.5 years' time. He also clarified that the country has been forced to invest in imported goods due to lack of investment in the manufacturing sector. A shoe exhibition is being organized in order to increase the use of domestically manufactured shoes in the country. It is expected to boost the economy of the country through such expos. A report.
The Footwear Manufacturers Association of Nepal is organizing the Nepal Shoes and Slipper Expo at Vrikuti Mandap, Kathmandu from April 28 to May 22. The association informed that the expo is being organized to promote the shoes and slippers that are manufactured in Nepal. The chairman of the organization, Nani Raj Ghimire, said that the whole nation is suffering from liquidity crisis and this fear is expected to ease the crisis to some extent. He further added that the expo might give some relief to shoes industry.
यसमा अर्थतन्त्र नै ठप्प भएको अवस्थामा केही हाम्रो यो क्षेत्रबाट हुने साधारण मेला व्यापार मेलाले चाहिँ भएको अर्थतन्त्रमा केही सुधार गर्न सकिन्छ अथवा सुधार हुन्छ भन्ने अपेक्षा सहित हामीले चाहिँ यो व्यापार मेलाको आयोजना गरेका छौं। समग्र उद्योगीहरूलाई केही राहत मिल्छ भन्ने आशा सहित यो व्यापार मेलाको आयोजना गरिएको छ।
Similarly, the vice chairman of the association, Rudra Prasad Nupane, said that the shoe business has been suffering due to various problems lately and FAIR is organized to make the sector economically stable.
कम्तीमा नि आर्थिक रूपमा आर्थिक चलयमान बनोस् र राज्य उपभोक्ताको सबैको ध्यान यही केन्द्रित होस्। मान्छेको दिमाग असाध्यै जुझारु रूपमा तातिरहेको बेलामा यो एकदम चञ्चल भइरहेको अवस्थामा चुनावकै मुखमा हामीले यो सबै मान्छेहरूको ध्यान हाम्रो यो फुटवेयरसँग तान्न सकिन्छ भन्ने हेतुले हामीले यो मेला प्रदर्शनी गरिराखेका छौँ।
Vice Chairman Nupane added that there is a trend of illegally importing shoes in Nepal and urged the government to stop illegal acts. The fair will feature stalls of 30 different companies and 50% discount is available on all the slippers and shoes that are manufactured in Nepal.
And now the news from economic front. The International Monetary Fund has projected Nepal's economy to grow by 4.1% in 2022, a report. The IMF published its report World Economic Outlook, which states that Nepal's economy will grow by 4.1% in 2022 after suffering a slowdown to 2.1% in 2021 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The report further states that Nepal's economy is projected to grow by 6.1% in 2023. Economic growth in Asia and the Pacific is poised to slow more than previously estimated this year amid tensions in Ukraine, a resurgent pandemic, and tightening global financial conditions, the report states. The war in Ukraine has triggered a costly humanitarian crisis that demands a peaceful resolution. At the same time, economic damage from the conflict will contribute to a significant slowdown in global growth in 2022 and add to inflation, added the report. According to IMF, fuel and food prices have increased rapidly, hitting vulnerable populations in low-income countries hardest. Interest rates are expected to rise as central bank tighten policy, exerting pressure on emerging market and developing countries. Moreover, many countries have limited fiscal policy space to cushion the impact of the war on their economies, IMF further said. Global growth is projected to slow from an estimated 6.1% in 2021 to 3.6% in 2022 and 2023. Beyond 2023, global growth is forecast to decline to about 3.3% over the medium term. War-induced commodity price increases, the broadening price pressure have led to 2022 inflation projections of 5.7% in advanced economies and 8.7% in emerging market and developing economies. Multilateral efforts to respond to the humanitarian crisis, prevent further economic fragmentation, maintain global liquidity, manage debt distress, tackle climate change, and end the pandemic are essential, the report added. With a few exceptions, employment and output will typically remain below pre-pandemic trends through 2026. Scaring efforts are expected to be much larger in emerging market and developing economies than in advanced economies. Time for a short break here at Janata Bulletin. Stay tuned for international news. Welcome back. Now the international news. At least 4 people have been killed, including 3 Chinese nationals, after an explosion ripped through a van on a university campus in southern Pakistan, officials said. The Baishakh Liberation Army, one of the several groups fighting for independence in Pakistan's biggest province, claimed responsibility for the blast at the University of Karachi. On Tuesday, it was their first suicide attack by a woman assailant. Chinese targets have regularly been attacked by separatists from Balochistan, where Beijing is involved in huge infrastructure project as part of its Belt and Road. The Chinese fatalities included the director of the Chinese-built Confucius Institute, which offers Chinese language graduate classes, and 2 teachers. The 4th person to die was the Pakistani driver. The blast was the first major attack in an urban area of Pakistan since Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif took power this month. He condemned that he called a cowardly act of terrorism, as reported by news agencies. You are watching Janata Bulletin, and now the latest from the world of sports. Manchester City will take a slender Champions League semi-final advantage to the Bernabeu after winning a 7-goal first-leg classic against Real Madrid at Etihad Stadium. City delivered a magnificent display as they peppered Real's goal for long periods, but Carlo Ancelotti's side kept rising off the canvas to somehow keep themselves in serious contention to reach another final. Kevin De Bruyne set the tone for the magical night of football with a diving header from Riyad Mahrez cross in the second minute, and in the Gabriel Jesus quickly added a second from close range as Real reeled under wave after wave of attacks. Mahrez encouraged manager Pep Guardiola when he hit the side netting instead of finding the unmarked Phil Foden, who shot inches wide before Karim Benzema inevitably gave Real a lifeline by sweeping home Ferland Mendy's cross after 33 minutes. The Spanish side escaped again thirdly after the break when Mahrez struck the post, but City restored their 2 goals advantage when an unmarked Foden headed home Fernandinho's cross in the 53rd minute. City were paced back again when Vinicius Jr. dummied fast Fernandinho and ran from inside his own half to score a superb second for Real. However, a brilliant use of advantage from referee Esteban Kovacs allowed Bernardo Silva to fire into the top left corner for City's fourth. There was still no let-up, and Benzema capped a spectacular game by showing nerves to chip a Penaka's penalty against Ederson with 8 minutes left following Aymeric Laporte's handball. The National Players Welfare Fund under the National Sports Council (NSC) on Tuesday provided financial assistance to 6 players of 5 different sports disciplines for treatment. The 6 players who are currently undergoing treatment received financial support of Rs 556,843 for the treatment. Athlete Jit Bahadur Kesi, who secured the first international medal for Nepal, and karateka Vishnu Nepali received Rs 1,25,000 each. Kesi sustained a hand injury while Nepali is suffering from paralysis. Meanwhile, volleyball player Riya Kumar received Rs 36,929. ITF Taekwondo player Deepak Gautam was provided financial assistance of Rs 47,914. Karate Kopila Vista received Rs 75,000, and badminton player Seema Rajbansi was given Rs 80,000 for treatment. Volleyball player Riya Kumar, karate Kopila Vista, and shooter Seema Rajbansi was suffering from knee injury, while Taekwondo player Deepak Gautam have shoulder-related problem. NSC member secretary Tankalal Ghising, who is also the president of the fund, handed over a check to the players amid a function on Tuesday. On the occasion, Ghising said a small help from the fund would be a great help for the players and urged all stakeholders to help increase contribution to the fund. We are at the end of Janata Bulletin, and the headlines once again. Over 141,000 candidacies filed for the local election. Final list of candidacies will be published on April 29. NC condemns remarks made by UNR chairman. The ruling party accuses only of violating election code. IMF projects Nepal's economy to grow by 4.1% this year. Global growth is projected to slow down to 3.6%. At least 4 people killed in suicide attack in Pakistan. Chinese nationals among those killed in the blast. And Manchester City beat Real Madrid in first leg tie. Karim Benzema's late penalty gives Real hope for the second leg. And that's all from the English News Desk for today. You can follow Janata Television and our programs on various social media platforms, including on our website janatasamachar.com. Keep watching Janata Television. Namaste.